She left me for her 35-year-old trainer, saying she needed excitement. 6 months later, she begged to come back, but I was already married. My name is Tom, I'm 58, and for 32 long years, I thought I had the perfect marriage with my wife, Deborah, who is 55. We raised 2 amazing kids, worked hard to build a peaceful life, paid off our house, and saved enough for retirement. I truly believed we had finally reached that beautiful stage of life where we could sit back, travel, and enjoy the fruits of our struggles. But life has a way of throwing you a curveball when you least expect it. It all started when Deborah joined a CrossFit gym about a year ago. She said she wanted to get her body back, and I fully supported her. I even encouraged her, thinking it was a healthy hobby. Sure, the membership was a painful $185 a month, and she suddenly started buying fancy $120 Lululemon leggings and protein shakes that cost as much as a dinner out, but I wanted her to be happy. Then came Brad, her 35-year-old trainer. A muscular, tattooed, Instagram-loving former military guy who always posted shirtless selfies with cheesy motivational quotes. Suddenly, Deborah couldn't stop talking about him. Brad says I have amazing potential. Brad thinks I could compete in the Masters division. Brad really understands me. That's how she'd talk. Like this man was the second coming of some fitness prophet. I met him once at the gym's family day. The guy spent the whole time calling me Chief and giving me unsolicited advice about my dad bod. I'm 58. I jog 3 times a week. My doctor says I'm healthy. That's enough for me. But Brad? He clearly thought he was God's gift to humanity. 3 months ago, Deborah came home one evening, dressed in a brand new outfit I'd never seen before, full makeup, nervous smile. She sat me down after dinner and said, "Tom, I need to talk about something important." My heart dropped. I thought it was about her health, maybe some terrible news. But what came next was worse than I could have imagined. "I'm not happy," she said softly. "I feel like I'm suffocating in this life. I need excitement, adventure, passion. I need to feel young again." I tried to stay calm. "Okay," I said gently. "We can travel. Let's take that Europe trip you've always wanted." But she shook her head. "You don't understand. This routine, this predictable life, it's killing me. I'm 55, not dead. I deserve to feel alive." My stomach dropped. "What are you saying?" "I'm leaving," she said flatly. "Brad and I are together. He makes me feel things I haven't felt in decades." I just sat there, frozen. 32 years together, and she was throwing it all away for a guy who was barely born when we got married. "He's 20 years younger than you," I said slowly. "Age is just a number, Tom. When you're truly connected with someone, it doesn't matter." It was insane. She'd already packed her bags, already found an apartment, already planned everything behind my back for months. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "I want a divorce. Brad and I are moving in together. He's going to help me become a fitness influencer." A fitness influencer. At 55. With 2,000 followers, half of whom were clearly bots she paid for. I could have cried, begged, pleaded, but I didn't. I just looked at her and said, "Okay, enjoy your adventure." She blinked, shocked that I didn't fight. "That's it? That's all you're going to say? What do you want me to say?" I asked. "You've made your choice. You're choosing a guy who drinks pre-workout for breakfast over 3 decades together. Good luck with that." She left that night without looking back. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers arrived. She wanted half of everything, the house, my 401k, my pension, even alimony. Her lawyer claimed she'd sacrificed her career to raise our kids. What career? She worked part-time at a boutique for 3 years in the 90s. I paid for her real estate license. She never used it. Funded her failed Etsy business, her photography phase, her life coaching course, and even that essential oils MLM disaster. But the best part? We live in an at-fault state. Adultery matters here. My lawyer, Janet, a legal shark worth every penny, actually laughed when she saw Deborah's public Facebook posts with Brad captioned, "My new chapter with my soulmate." Janet said, "This is going to be easier than I thought." Meanwhile, Deborah was living her best life online, gym selfies, green smoothies, and cringeworthy quotes about choosing happiness. My daughter, Qley, who's 28, called me furious. Dad, Mom's lost her mind. She introduced Brad to me as her partner. He's 7 years older than me. It's disgusting. My son, Eric, 26, was blunt as always. She's having a midlife crisis. Let her crash and burn. And oh, she was about to crash. Deborah soon texted me begging for temporary financial support. She said, "The apartment's expensive and Brad's between jobs right now." Between jobs. The great trainer who was going to make her famous was unemployed. I replied, "All communication goes through lawyers." She snapped, "Don't be petty, Tom. We were married for 32 years. I texted back. Past tense. Your choice. Then she tried to access my personal bank account. Thankfully, I'd already separated everything. When the bank refused her, she called me screaming, "You're financially abusing me. You have the right to get a job." I said calmly, "Brad can support you now. Isn't that what partners do?" Click. She hung up. 6 weeks later, the mask fell off completely. Brad wasn't between jobs. He'd been fired from the gym for sleeping with clients. Plural. Deborah wasn't special. Just the one with the most money. Another woman, Miranda, reached out to me on Facebook. She'd been with Brad too. Thought they were exclusive until she saw Deborah's posts. Miranda sent me screenshots of Brad texting her while he was with Deborah, talking about temporary situations and working on something big. I forwarded it all to Janet, who sent it straight to Deborah's lawyer with a note. "Your client might want to reconsider her demands." But Deborah, in true narcissist fashion, doubled down. She posted a Facebook rant claiming I was trying to destroy her happiness, and that bitter men can't handle strong women choosing themselves. Strong woman? She couldn't even open a pickle jar without help. Then came the health insurance drama. She was on my excellent corporate plan, covered everything, low deductible, even dental and vision. She assumed she'd stay on it during the divorce. Wrong. Since she left me for adultery, I wasn't obligated to keep her on. I removed her during open enrollment. 2 days later, my phone rang. Not a text, a full-blown screaming call. "You removed me from insurance. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. Brad doesn't have insurance." "Sounds like a personal problem," I said. "I need my medications." She screamed. "Cobra exists. $1,400 a month. I can't afford that. Shouldn't have left your meal ticket for a guy who lives in his car." Then, "Yes, you read that right. Brad didn't even have an apartment. He'd been living at the gym. Deborah was paying for their new place, the first stable roof he'd had in months. My wife left me for a homeless personal trainer. 3 months into the divorce, things took a beautiful turn. Because of her affair, all her financial demands were destroyed in court. No alimony. She got half the house equity, but she had to sell because she couldn't afford to buy me out. Her half of my 401k came with early withdrawal penalties because she needed cash fast. She walked away with about $180,000. And within 6 weeks, she blew through $30,000. New car for Brad, a leased Mercedes. New wardrobe, professional photo shoots, cosmetic treatments, and influencer branding sessions. She documented everything on Instagram like she was a real housewife. Meanwhile, Brad was out partying with other women. My neighbor, Carl, even sent me photos of him at a bar with someone new while Deborah was at her book club. The doorbell camera footage from our old house, which I still had access to, caught him bringing another woman home when Deborah was visiting her sister. Then, out of nowhere, Deborah's mother, Ruth, called me. This sweet, 80-year-old woman whom I'd helped for years. Doctor visits, moving her to assisted living, now called to scold me. "Thomas, you need to forgive Deborah and take her back." "Ruth, she left me for another man." She was confused. This Brad character manipulated her. "You're her husband, you're supposed to fight for her. She's a grown woman who made a choice. A real man would win her back. A real man respects himself enough not to be someone's backup plan." That shut her up. Then, 5 months later, I got the call I'd been expecting. Deborah caught an STD from Brad. She called me crying. He gave me chlamydia, Tom. I have to take antibiotics. And why are you calling me? Because you're the only one who really knows me. I made a mistake. What I want is for you to never call me again, I said. But she kept calling. Brad had kicked her out. The money was gone. She was working part-time at a department store for minimum wage. And then came the final straw. She texted me, I need to get back on your health insurance. I found a lump in my breast. I need a mammogram. I replied politely but firmly, I'm sorry about your health scare, but you need to get your own insurance. You're seriously going to let me die because you're petty? She snapped. Go to Planned Parenthood. I said. They have sliding scale fees. What she didn't know was that I had already remarried. Yes, quickly. But when you know, you know. Her name's Patricia, 56. A widow I met at a support group. No drama, no games, just peace. We married 2 weeks ago. She's on my insurance now. The next day, Deborah showed up at my office unannounced, demanding I add her back. Patricia happened to be there having lunch with me. When she opened the door wearing her wedding ring, Deborah's jaw dropped. You got married. Patricia smiled sweetly. Yes, 2 weeks ago. You must be the ex-wife. Tom's told me so much about you. Deborah turned to me, eyes wide. You replaced me already? Replaced implies you had the position. You quit. She stammered. But I need insurance. Patricia, still smiling, said, Have you tried the marketplace? Or maybe that boyfriend of yours could help. We broke up, Deborah whispered. That's unfortunate, Patricia replied. Well, we should get back to lunch. Deborah burst into tears. Tom, please. I'm scared. I need help. You needed help when you left me for a 35-year-old trainer. You needed help when you spent all your money. You needed help when you mocked me online. Now you need a job with benefits. She had nothing left. Within weeks, her life collapsed entirely. Brad moved 3 states away with another woman. Deborah's car got repossessed. She got evicted and ended up sleeping on her elderly mother's couch. Her health scare turned out to be a harmless cyst, but she'd already told everyone I was letting her die of cancer. Even her own family turned against her. She tried one last public stunt, showing up at Patricia's birthday dinner with my kids. She stormed in, saying, I need to talk to my husband. Ex-husband, I corrected. Patricia smiled calmly. It meant something once, past tense. Now you're interrupting my birthday dinner. My daughter Qley stood up. Mom, leave. You're embarrassing yourself. I'm your mother, she screamed. And you left Dad for a guy younger than Eric, Qley snapped. You don't get to play the victim now. The restaurant manager came over, asked her to leave, or he'd call the police. Her parting words were, You'll all regret this when I'm gone. Eric muttered, Promise. That was 2 weeks ago. Now, Deborah works 2 retail jobs, lives in a tiny apartment, and her once public Instagram is private with 400 followers. Brad's gone. Ruth passed away, leaving everything to charity because she was disappointed in Deborah's choices. Me? I got promoted, bought a cabin, and live peacefully with Patricia. We're planning a honeymoon in Greece. Deborah wanted excitement. She got it. Bankruptcy, eviction, betrayal. All very exciting. Meanwhile, I'm living my quiet, predictable life. A life that's never looked so good. Never trade stability for fantasy, and never chase excitement at the cost of loyalty. If you enjoy stories of love, loss, and sweet revenge, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.